Hey, Andy.
I did this whole welcome and I was muted.
Hi.
Hey, Andy.
Oh, sorry. My connection's a little bad.
I did this whole welcome and I was muted.
Hello. How are you doing, man? Welcome. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, Andy.
Oh, sorry. My connection's a little bad.
Hello? Are we on? Well, for anyone that can hear me or see me, welcome to the show. I'm sure Patrick will join us again. I'm so excited about the show today. Some of my best friends are going to be on the show, and we're going to talk about holiday traditions related to theme parks, not just theme parks, because there's a lot of holiday traditions that we're not all going to be able to participate in, like usual, like our professional trade show IAPA, which we would be at right now or next week. Actually, no, it would be there this week, yeah. And we're all really sad about that, and we're drinking about it because that's what we would be doing. Yeah, let's why don't we just bring everybody on, since there's really no news that we're not going to actually discuss on the show, because there's Christmas news, and there's Natalie Nielsen. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you for having me.
James McManus and Michael Libby. I guess Patrick Kling is deceased now, so
yeah.
No, he'll be back. I don't think he's in Canada anymore, so I don't think we can blame Canada. Like we could.
It's that crappy Florida internet.
Oh wait, there he is.
Oh, everybody's already on. Hello.
Welcome to the show, Patrick.
I don't know what happened. It was looking good, and I think somewhere I had a window open that was like Facebook, and then it just shut everything down. So I apologize, but I'm happy to be here live via satellite from my. What did I miss, folks? I know everyone got brought on, so welcome everybody. Great to have you on.
We just said hi. We just said
hi.
We
were just wrapping up the show. We're coming with our final thoughts and conclusions. So.
Oh, perfect! I gotta go to bed now. That's great. No, I love it.
And I did a not awkward at all introduction.
Well, that sounds good. I'm going to enter the studio. Sorry, go ahead.
Patrick, speaking of introductions, the last time I was on this show, it was a real sort of bootstrappy ragtag situation. And I just need to comment on that intro animation that I just saw, because it is one of the more elaborately produced
production value.
The music, the graphics. I'm sort of blown away, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a part of like a holiday Christmas cartoon special or something. It's wonderful. I'm so excited.
No, that's the magic of Pacheco Media, you guys.
Have people caught on to the fact that you're writing a custom track for each show now, or for each, I guess, theme of a show?
More importantly, have they caught on that it's from a Sally Dark ride that was a placeholder for when we were doing the Untitled Themed Entertainment Design Lockdown show, and I was just like, theme this, and I called Rich. I'm like, hey, do you mind if we use this? Sure. And then so like what's funny is that I did now it's become the theme for the show, and I did the Halloween version of it, and then now I'm doing the holiday version of it, and next year I have to figure out I want to do like a more like snappy modern version of it. But I appreciate that you guys appreciate the animation and the title, and I work really hard on those. I make a new one every week.
I would like to say that I had a view of Natalie's reaction while that was going on, and Rachel and CJ can attest that you were just like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
Well, I wasn't. I mean, like Michael was saying, I mean, it was just like a black title card with like white text, and then suddenly these things are moving, and there's like 3 different setups and all that animation. I'm just like, wow.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. I know we already did that, but let's just reset here a little bit. This is the Untitled Themed Entertainment Design Lockdown Show, not minus the lockdown. Now it's just a free-for-all. Let's all get COVID.
Until we're locked down again.
Until we're locked down again, or that vaccine comes in a couple months. We're looking forward to that. I want to do a couple shout-outs. A little bit of a preview. We're going to be making a couple big announcements in the next couple of weeks. And just the tease on that, we have somebody live via satellite, CJ. This is his first show. He is training to be a producer for the show. He's under the tutelage of Rachel, who's been, a long time. Let's see how many heads we can get on the screen at once. So CJ's in the background learning. Rachel is showing him the ropes. Really excited. Welcome to the team, CJ. CJ, let's put you on the spot. Give us your 20-second. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hello, everyone. I am a recent graduate. I just graduated from UCLA with mechanical engineering, and I've got pulled into the Klingiverse through various portfolio projects. Absolutely love everything to do with the themed entertainment world, and I'm happy to be helping share the content here.
All right. Well, thanks, CJ. We'll put you back in the control room with Rachel. But I'm sure.
Basement.
What's that?
Back to the basement.
Back to the basement. Yeah. That's like all right. But yeah, thanks, CJ. Welcome to the team. Really happy to have you here. All that good stuff. So, this and everybody, please like, subscribe, share this. This is would it be IAPA week? So this is kind of informally family reunion. We brought back friends of the show who've been on the show before. I guarantee you, if a year ago today, we would be somewhere drinking cocktails together, or worse, or better, or whatever that case may be. Which is really. It's sad, but we understand, and of course, IAPA is doing a virtual expo. Did any of you catch the morning Josh D'Amaro thing he gave?
Yeah, I saw the postings from it. The Twitterverse was going crazy this morning.
Yeah.
I don't have anything I didn't bring any pictures to share, but like,
I did.
Just if the Guardians of the Galaxy test footage has our very own Wyatt Winter, right on the front of it, for like 20 seconds. He's just in it. Having a great time. So shout out to Wyatt.
And it was his birthday, right?
And it was his birthday. Yeah, it was his birthday, November 11th. And on my like FaceTime. Okay, this is not related to this at all. We went on this epic girls trip. And hold on, wait. Me and him, and we saw Britney Spears, and we saw Cher, and we saw no, not Cher. We saw who was the other? Somebody else big. Celine Dion. There we go. So it was a lot of fun, and he went all out. We were like in the front row for Britney Spears. It was ridiculous. Like Britney was spitting on us. We were dancing, and the 25 drinks were rolling. I'm just gonna start missing Vegas, but shout out to Wyatt Winter. Happy birthday! And you are on all over my Twitter feed. His face is there going wee, spinning around on the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, which is where the universe is waiting for it. We're all captivated, we're all captivated, waiting for it. Which is, IAPA is a time for celebration, isn't it, folks?
It is.
Absolutely.
It is.
And
I have to tell you what, when IAPA was canceled, 2 or 3 months ago, I in all my hubris, I foolishly thought that, like, you know what, I'm gonna have an IAPA party here in Burbank at the pub, and everyone's gonna come, and it'll be outside, and here we are, and there's no way I would have ever done that because no one would have come. And it just would have sucked. But like, I really thought like we could have a little IAPA party here in Burbank, but no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was there were a lot of people. I was on several email threads where a lot of people were planning like defiant IAPA parties, and none of them ended up happening.
Oh, that reminds me, I have a plug to make too.
Oh, great.
As we just sit and wait in anticipation.
Just keep them off. We don't do plugs here. No, go ahead.
Okay. Speaking of missing IAPA, one of my favorite traditions is the Hedema party.
Oh, yes.
And they're not having it this year, but they mailed me a party at home kit.
Oh.
which I have not yet assembled, but I just want to give a shout out to the Hedema group for a really awesome and creative and safe way to do something.
Yeah, they did a great job.
That's great.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, spoilers.
Nice.
Yeah, it's this whole little. As far as I can tell, it's like a little kind of AR thing where you set up a little diorama and you set your phone inside of it and you like ride on a ride or something.
Love it.
Oh, wow.
So I think I'm at the level where I'm able to sneak into the Hedema party without getting kicked out, but not enough to get on the actual list. So I don't think I have one waiting for me at the office. I'm very sad about that.
So sorry.
So anyway, that was a bad joke. So we know that I believe they're going to be announcing the new Theist Onslaught on Thursday. We have a new president, Chuck Fawcett. Looking forward to that. He's a great guy. I've been partnering with him a lot. We did have Jenny from the TEA also stepped down last week. So I would say we wish her the best on her new voyage or her wherever she's going to go. I know there's a lot of big changes in the TEA, so we wish all of them well. But that's pretty big news. Salute. She's been there for 7 years and brought financial stability and all that. And, I know myself, I think we're all pretty involved in the TEA in some way or another. So sending our best wishes to Jenny and all the crew as they go through their evolution. But it's such a crazy time. So where change is in the wind and new things are in the wind. And I guarantee you we will have some sort of get together, party, happy hour that's associated with this show, and whatever, this entity. So count on that for next year. We'll maybe we'll rent out, Wizarding World of Harry Potter or something like that. We'll see.
I mean, if you can do it, sure, yeah, I'll be there.
I this isn't the IAPA show, but we got such great brain power here. Do we want to go around the room and just talk about maybe a favorite IAPA memory that we have, something that stuck up over the past 15 or however many years people have been going? I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to Jason, if you're okay with improvising a bit and favorite IAPA memory or something memorable that happened that you won't forget.
Give me a pass. I got to think about one that I can actually say in public.
Yeah.
let me go through the
library. What happens at IAPA stays at IAPA. That's the first rule, right?
Generally, yes, right?
Well, we did. Okay, so we did the ice cream crawl, and that was the thing that the ice cream crawl. So years ago, I mean, at one point in time, there were no less than 5 different ice cream type vendors, 2 that were like Dippin' Dot style, maybe even 3 that were Dippin' Dot style. And then all these different things. There was the ice. Remember the ice cream in the extruded corn cone? That was a hit. Anyway, so one year we put together the ice cream crawl where we got a bunch of people together and we literally just went from place to place to place, and it became sort of a thing that has existed in one form or another since then. But man, that was a good time.
Is that on the show floor of IAPA or is that I drive? Okay, got it.
It was on the show floor, and the first year we did it, we just wanted to figure out who would show up. We did it as a smaller group the next time, and we made a rule: no talking about industry stuff while you're on the show floor, which is very hard to do when you're surrounded by, Italian businessmen on rides and things. It's.
Yeah, it was pure ice cream. That was really. It was the cream crawl. That's what.
Yeah, the cream crawl is what we called it first.
And we had punch cards that we gave out that had the booth numbers of the ice cream places. But then the 4th one was like a mystery location. There was a big question mark, and that was like an off-list ice cream thing. That was at IAPA. And
that was at the backstage at the Zamperla booth where it was really gelato.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I don't know. I wasn't invited.
Natalie, over to you. You had a memory.
Yeah, I mean, this is more. It's not like an event, but it was. I was invited to a 3rd floor party. Like, God, maybe 2-3 years ago. They had like a whole VR thing going on in like a hotel suite, and I got to experience like room scale VR for the first time in that party, and like I got to do the Google Tilt Brush. Oh my God, it blew my mind. It was amazing.
Yeah.
That's party specific. IAPA memory, just playing lots of video games for free. Skee ball, unlimited skee ball. I look forward to it every year. Just, I mean, I'm working, but I'm doing skee ball too, and I'm having a great time. And pinball. And
Yeah,
all of it.
I play a lot of pinball when we're at IAPA.
Yeah.
All the pinballs, all that new Stern pinball goodness that is on free play forever.
Yeah. Do you all remember that that Pong game that was on the show floor? I think starting
Yes.
like a year or two ago. That like real like
3D
little
Pong.
blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Oh
physical
my
Pong
God.
thing. Yeah.
Physical Pong. Oh, so cool. So yeah, and then like just the scale of it. It's such a thing that I just look forward to every year. I get to go to Florida and like go to the theme parks, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, that's the thing that people who've never been to IAPA don't realize is the scale is just like it just feels like it goes on and on and on. And it's surprising with it being that big that we still run into everybody we know on the show floor. It's just I mean, because what the attendance this last year was over like 60,000 or something, wasn't it?
I think so.
It's crazy.
Well, that's like when you're like on your way to a meeting, you kind of have to like avert your gaze and go like, "Hey, I got to keep walking. I can't stop." Like trying to avoid people are like, "I kind of want to talk to that guy." And it's like, I don't really need to say hello to that guy, but okay, hey, all right, try to tell me something or whatever the case may be. Michael, favorite IAPA memory? Over to you.
I mean, I feel like everyone's first IAPA is probably always their favorite IAPA, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because you're just so overwhelmed by just everything, just the whole experience of it. You know, it's like a week, and so my first one was when I got to go with Thinkwell when I was pretty young, and they just brought me along to have just to have an extra hand there, and Kelly Reiner was. I think, in charge of new business then and had this whole new business team. And they were, like leading up to it, printing up, brochures and getting all the marketing collateral and carrying like bags of really heavy stuff. And that's like real IAPA, like that's what it actually is. And so that was kind of my first exposure to that. You got a bootstrap and it's, it's kind of like the Super Bowl if you're trying to sell something, you have to put your best foot forward at IAPA, right?
Yeah. Every year there's at least one or two what I call like the Hail Mary pass people that show up and they've got this grand idea and they bought a booth. I'm not going to mention his name, but there was this one guy who had like a prototype ride system and he brought it. He had a whole model that he brought to IAPA and he was trying to sell it there. And it's charming, but it's also nice to see like big thinking like that all kind of in one place. Like
I remember that it was like an erector set and meat grinder. It was all these spinning concentric circles. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
That actually reminded me of what my favorite IAPA memory is, and I was on the show floor. This guy, very similar, had a very small booth, and a model of a new ride system he was pitching, and it was actually pretty cool. It was basically like a Peter Pan system, where each vehicle was like a submarine that was submerged with a spiral stair. They were like mini submarines, sort of go around. But so he had built this model of it, and he's like, "Come over here, check out this model." And he had like a lab coat on. It was very strange. And sure. Anyway, so he turned on this model, and the vehicle started going around, and then one of the vehicles just like snagged on some of the scenic. And it just like started like, and then basically the whole model collapsed in on itself.
Oh no.
And like the whole thing got destroyed. And then this is the best part. There was like a pregnant pause, like perfect comic timing. And then the guy said, "Now, of course, the real ride system wouldn't do that." That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Oh man,
Andy, how about you? Favorite memory?
I was thinking of a way that I could segue into a more of a holiday topic, and I have two funny stories. As Jason and Natalie know, several times I've gone on the IAPA cruise. The weekend before IAPA, me and Jason and sometimes the Depews, Jason and Prudence Depew. Hi, if you're watching. It's like, "Hi, Mom." My mom might be watching too. But we go on this 3-night Caribbean Disney cruise, and one time it was the week after Halloween. It was like when IAPA was like really early in the month, and it was literally the weekend after Halloween. And so we just come out of Halloween, and then it's a Disney Christmas cruise. So we went from like just like a theme park, and we went from Halloween to Christmas like that, and it was so jarring to suddenly just be mainlining Christmas. You know, there's Christmas music everywhere, Christmas decorations everywhere. Everything's Christmas themed. Castaway Cay is Christmas themed. Everything's Christmas. So that was an amazing thing. But so my favorite IAPA memory is kind of Christmassy. Is that one year the IAPA Celebrates big party that you pay $180 to go to or whatever, it's totally outrageous, was at the Magic Kingdom at Disney World, and they basically ran all of their fireworks shows, and including the like the Christmas one. I think it was the year that they had there was the castle lighting, and then there was 2 different Christmas shows or something like that for some reason. But they loaded up all the castle shows and ran them all in a row, and that was amazing. And there's only like a few hundred people there, so it's almost like private castle show club. And then at the end of the show, you went back down Main Street, and they had hauled out all of the Christmas parade floats that you would just walk by, and they had the music going and all the dancers, and Santa was there, and it was just like incredible, like pageantry, private pageantry that that normal people wouldn't get to experience. And that was incredible. That was incredible. And that's the stories that I can tell, because there's like everybody, there's so many other stories, that just you don't want people telling about you, so you won't tell them about them.
See, what you don't know is there wasn't actually a party at the Magic Kingdom. Andy was just so drunk that he wandered into the Magic Kingdom and just found himself backstage. Look at all the parade floats and fireworks.
It's entirely possible.
Or did you even leave the hotel room? Was something else involved? Do you all imagine it? Well, I have 2. I'll do 2. They're quick. So I it's so funny because like you look back. Oh, great, full screen. You have your memories in your head of like iconic moments in your life. And I remember my first IAPA. I had just was trying to get in the industry, graduated college. It was not great. And IAPA was in Vegas that year. It would have been 2009 or 2010. And Michael, were you there at IAPA that year in Vegas?
I was.
So I kind of like tagged along with Keith Rector, who was working for BRC at the time. And he was, I want to go, all right, full screen. Sorry. I want to be more conversational. Sorry, Rachel. So I was there. I don't know if we were hanging. We knew each other. We probably were hanging out or something. Maybe you're at Thinkwell, but I remember going, and it was crazy being in Vegas. It was crazy the show floor being there. I kind of tagged along like through by hook or by crook. I got to sneak into the BRC party because Keith Rector was organizing it as a coordinator. And it was in the drive-through wedding chapel. So I remember that iconic having a party there, which was really cool. And then also like Keith had put together like the Legends panel that's now still going on today with Bob Rogers and BRC that they do it. And oh gosh, Marty Sklar was there, and I believe who's the guy that's AECOM that's like all about studying where Disney goes. It's blanking my mind. Gosh, I'm horrible. You guys know he's like he figured out where Disneyland should go. What's that guy's name?
Oh, Buzz Price.
Buzz Price. I believe Buzz Price was there, kind of like this last appearance, and also the guy who always has martinis, of course. I forget his last name.
Bob Gurr.
Bob Gurr. I'm sorry, I'm a little fuzzy right now. Bob Gurr. It was actually like true legends were there. Nothing against anything that's going on today, but it was like, oh wow, these are actually like they're wheeling them in on wheelchairs and things like that. And it was really great to see. It was really cool.
Roll out the legends.
They really did. No, it was really cool. Walt Disney got unfrozen and was out there. No, so it was really fun. And then similar to Michael, like the first time you legitimately went, I went with Nickelodeon. Luckily, it's all in town, so it's not that big of a deal to go to IAPA when you're in Orlando. But I was like at the Sally party and the Whitewater West party, which was like up in a penthouse somewhere. They just kind of did a party the whole week. And I have this hat that is a Whitewater West hat. I love this hat. I get the most comments of any hat I ever wear anywhere in my life. And it's fantastic. So I remember like kind of feeling like you were kind of part of the cool kids. You know what I mean? Not that I'm a cool kid, but you kind of feel like, oh, I'm with these bunch of weirdos and they all accept me, which I think we could all kind of relate to a little bit, right? So that was the year they got a Monday party because Universal Grab celebration.
Oh, talking about Andy's story about the Magic Kingdom party.
Ah,
yeah, that was when Universal and Disney had like competing events that year.
That's right.
Wow.
So, well, nothing says traditions like IAPA. Here's a segue, folks.
All right, come on.
We know that everything is canceled this year. A lot of things are canceled, and we're all okay with it. We know that there's no reason, things are reduced capacity. Disney's operating reduced, and of course they're doing holiday light versions of it. And so we thought this would be a perfect opportunity to get 5 theme park designers on air and talk about some of our favorite holiday traditions, and really talk about just what it means in general. So we're going to kind of work through our progression of like, when we were children, what was totally agree with that. Riding the test vehicles from especially Zamperla stuff. Sorry, there's a comment you guys all can't see. Sorry. Okay, here, I don't have ADD. Well, I do, but that's what the comment I was responding to. So I'd like to talk about, like, does anybody have any, I'll start. My childhood memories that I have are, no matter how weird my childhood was and the different craziness that I'm sure we all went through, and I'm not going to try to say that anybody's lifestyle is perfect or not. But for me, the staple in our household was watching the Walt Disney World, or whatever they're calling it, Christmas parade. And I'm not sure what they're calling it now. It's probably been corporatized with Disney, whatever it is, Disney parks and all that. And I'd unload and unbox my Connects roller coaster set and my Lego set, and I'd build, and we would gather around and just watch the Disney show. That's kind of what we did. What about you all guys?
Well, I grew up. So I grew up in San Antonio, and I had both SeaWorld San Antonio and Fiesta Texas at the time. Before it was Six Flags, it was basically run by Opryland the first few years and everything. And so it was a show park, and they did the most epic Christmas stuff in that park. It had kind of the Texas background, right? So you have like the sort of Hispanic influence, that version of like Feliz Navidad Christmas, and then you go over to like the Western Christmas, and they had all these different flavors, but it was all kind of broken up by the flags of Texas and shows that were just top notch. Rockville High for years was one of the best theme park shows. They did a Christmas version of that, so I was fortunate to grow up near that, where I can go multiple times a year.
That Rockville High show was really great. You took me to see that. It was surprisingly good.
Yeah, classic.
And you had built it up a lot. I mean, I was ready for like Grease on Broadway, and it was pretty close. It was pretty good.
Instead, it was Grease at Six Flags. So.
Right. I think that street was called Broadway, though.
So, Natalie, how about you? Did you have any or anything related to theme parks wherever you were, or anything like that?
Well, like I grew up in Seattle, so the only really theme park we had was this like water park / amusement park called Wild Waves, and they had like a holiday lights setup. It was fine. The thing for me that I always really loved was during like the holiday season, the Seattle Center, which is like the civic center that was the site of the 1962 World's Fair with the Space Needle and everything. They would put on a thing called Winterfest, and it was pretty straightforward. They would put up a lot of lights on all the trees in the surrounding area, and they had the center house where they had like all the food and everything. But in there was a stage, and they would like have a bunch of performances of like holiday performances from like different cultures and stuff. And then also every year they would put up this enormous like train set, this huge miniature like town with like a little like ice skating rink with the little skaters that move. There was like a little control booth that you could like ask to go up there and operate the train and everything. And like that train set, that whole little like thing was just such a, I don't know, like that for me meant like Christmas. That and then going into downtown Seattle, there was a giant department store that they would put up this huge lit up like star, and there was this whole little like shopping area over there. Just kind of, I didn't have a lot of theme park stuff. So for me, it was more like how, it was like my civic areas that I was used to inhabiting, just kind of being elevated during the holiday season. And then, occasionally we would go to Disneyland. So I only knew Disneyland for the first couple visits, like as it is in Christmas. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, speaking of Disneyland at Christmas, I'll go next because I've just had the horrible realization. This is probably the first year in my life that I will not be going to Disneyland at Christmas. And it's inextricably linked to Christmas for me because not only did I have an annual pass for many years, and early on, so just the Christmas parade, the Country Bear Christmas Vacation hoedown. I loved that show, but like especially the Christmas parade, and then later Holiday Believe, the Christmas Pyro show. I loved that. I loved the music of the finale of that was always just so great. But man, I would always go with like my grandparents or my aunt and uncle and cousins and stuff. And recently, my mom, I would take my mom on Thanksgiving because we would do Thanksgiving dinner down in Anaheim, and we would go to Disneyland for just a few hours just to see the parade, so she could see Santa on the float and the whole thing. And like, it's just like, man, that's not happening this year, and that's such a bummer. But I think later on next month I'm going to try to get I think I will get some of the minds behind the Christmas parade, Bruce Healy, who's the music director for the park, and then Joe Alfuso, who was the composer and arranger for the Christmas parade. That
that's in my head.
It's stuck in my head.
So we're gonna have him on the show with Bruce and talk about the parade.
So we all are in this industry, and I'm sure we all had childhood love for it. Which is fantastic. Michael, how was your childhood growing up with? Did you have any family traditions with going to the parks, or did it resonate with you in any way? Before we move on to like an operations discussion, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, no, I'm someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas, but the thing that I sort of remember the most growing up is that back then, this would have been like early to mid 90s. There actually was an off season at the park, and period between Thanksgiving and the holidays, like mid-December, park was empty, and I would, it would be like raining sometimes, barely anyone on the sidewalks, and yeah, I would just go, because I was like a Disneyland nerd. I would just go by myself and like take pictures of a lot of stuff, and for me, it was the Country Bear Christmas special. I just loved that show because, in many ways, it was like my first exposure to Christmas culture. But also, I think it was the first real seasonal or semi-permanent, seasonal overlay.
Yeah, that checks out.
Was ever done, right? So, it was like a limited run show. You could only see it during that time of the year. Totally different songs, different sets and costumes. So
everything I know about the world, I've learned through the
the way the show Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Hey, that's my song.
I'm
light in his nose.
So one thing, we're gonna. So one thing that's very interesting is, Michael was kind of talking about it, that they ramped up their Christmas holiday. Michael's left the building. They ramped up their holiday offerings at Disneyland, and Michael, Libby, and I both happened to work at Disneyland at the same exact time. And there's a very interesting thing that happens when you work there, which is to say, That whole dun 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 dun. I saw that parade at least 150 times. So we got holiday start at Disneyland. Basically, back then you had a couple weeks. It wasn't like November 1st, but it was like November 15th or so. They were in full swing, all decked out. We had How to Mention Holiday. We had a Small World Holiday. We had all these things going on. The Believe in Fire, and we're gonna do a rundown of all these things later on. But Michael, we were talking earlier, like just that idea of Disney of we work while others play.
That was actually part of the messaging. It was we work while others play. That was sort of like a motto during the holiday season.
That sounds like propaganda to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Basically saying if you call out on Christmas, you're not going to have a job in the new year. Things like that was just like it was like hey, we understand you're going to work on weekends, and this is when people want to go and have fun, and it was very interesting. Michael, did you ever work crowd control during the Believe in Holiday Magic or any of those Christmas shows and parades?
I did. Most of the time I was like the closing jungle lead on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day because I didn't celebrate Christmas. So I was like, I'll take the time and a half, why not? And the guests were always super nice on Christmas Day, even though the place was crowded. It was like the one day it was crowded and everyone was nice. It was people get pretty intense about their holiday spirit at Highlight.
My mom is one of those people. It's Christmas, everything revolved around Christmas. It was like just concentric circles of life with the center.
But, like the country bears.
But there's still they still have the one window display for Hanukkah, which is got to represent. I appreciate the shout out. It's there. But there's no Big Thunder Mountain Hanukkah holiday edition or anything.
Oh, I think you just came up with a good idea.
Yeah. Is it because it's a gold mine? What is that?
Oh, we're not going there. We're not going there. But just in 2 weeks, we will be discussing holidays, theme parks, and religion in 2 weeks. So join us for that, folks. Mark it on your calendars. It's very interesting you said that because I remember there were a very select amount of people that did not celebrate the holidays, and they were just like you. Yeah, I'll work. I don't mind at all. And I'd be like, okay, yeah, cool. I kind of want to have Christmas off, and I celebrate Christmas from a secular perspective. So it's still family time, and I enjoy the pretty lights. Yeah. Very, very, very lame. Like pretty lights, cool. So
it is now coming back to me that I did once date somebody who did celebrate Christmas, and that basically ended our relationship.
What?
The fact that I had to work on Christmas Eve and I couldn't make it to her family's Christmas was like a deal breaker. Yeah.
So celebration of tolerance.
I will say that mostly what's really interesting is Disney is very interesting because they have Christmas Eve, like they close at 7:00. That's the 1 week in that day. That was 2 weeks that they close at a reasonable hour, and then the next day it's 7 a.m. to midnight. I remember I was working at this is the one time I lost it as a cast member where I really broke down and my face of like stone cold hardcoreness went away. I was oh gosh, here full screen. Okay, no, let's go. Leave me on. I worked in 2005. I was a guest control lead for the fireworks spectacular for Remember Dreams Come True, which is the best fireworks show ever created, known to man, in my opinion. And I saw the show a lot. And guest control or crowd control, as you may know outside of the biz, was really challenging. And I remember Christmas week. It was like our first time doing the show on Christmas. It was super crowded. It was Christmas Eve. And as the guest control lead, I was always called over to like when there's a really bad situation where a guest does not want to move through a walkway or go into the street. So I was called over to talk to a guy, and it's really the worst thing. It's really challenging to do that. I went over and I was like, hey, and for those that don't know, I'm 6'5", I'm a tall guy, so it's good that I was that size. And I'm like, hey, I need you just to step into the street. You're standing on this ledge. Just go 2 feet into the street so people can get by you. He refused. I was like, I'm not doing that, and started cussing me out. And I'm like, dude, it's Christmas Eve. Can you just get into the street and expletive deleted? And then and I kind of like broke character, and he went in the street. But I don't know, and I hate that memory is in my brain, that I remember that. I want all those bad memories to be going away. Cast members do not get paid enough, I will just say. They do not get paid enough for the stuff that they have to deal with. So anyways, where were we on this show? I don't know why the only time yeah,
I think the whole working at the park experience.
Terrible.
I mean, even backstage, it's interesting backstage too, because when I was at WDI, I had an assignment. I was working in one of the trailers that was right behind Splash Mountain, and that's actually where they rehearse the Christmas parade. A lot of the parades, they literally just do a circle around that trailer I was in for hours and hours. But the best part is they're like blaring the music on a golf cart as people are in their like bikinis back there, like practicing the Christmas parade and stuff. And then there's a dude on a megaphone yelling at them. So I got to listen to that in like July as they were preparing for the Christmas parade. That's a memory right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing that I think people don't realize too, is that think about all of the music production and all the production for all this Christmas stuff happens in the summer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, many summers I've spent writing and producing Christmas music. And and then to the point where, like, when I was doing the Christmas music for the inaugural Christmas season for Universal Studios Japan, we spent all of August producing and writing all of this music, and then the first recording day was September 11th, 2001.
Ooh,
and so we spent all day of 9/11 recording Happy Christmas music.
Yikes.
Like the actual day.
Thanks for joining us here, folks, on the
Merry Christmas.
Let's go ahead. So now we have some holiday traditions. No, it's very touching and sad. Rachel,
by the way, I just want to point out that on this Christmas episode, only 2 of us dressed up for this. The rest of you guys look like you got off a flight from Miami or something.
Seriously.
I put on my red shirt and everything. I'm wearing my Disney shirt.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I even have my cup of hot cocoa here. I'm kidding. It's actually it's RC Cola, but
I have my holiday Amazon Fire TV water bottle just for this. Jeez.
I appreciate all of you. We're doing holiday shows. It's not cold enough for me to wear a sweater here, so I apologize. I appreciate you sweating through. I do have a Rick and Morty sweater I can put on. Maybe I'll do it next week. So let's go ahead and go down through. This is okay. Let's go ahead and go through let's talk about some of these shows that are experiences that we all know or don't love. So, of course, we have a Merry Christmas Parade.
Looks like he's flipping everyone off.
Bring it on.
So I don't know about you, but I love I love watching the Walt Disney World or Christmas Disney Parks, whatever it is now, show, and being like analyzing exactly where every shot was taken and how they cut it. Like, oh, that was from Walt Disney World. Oh, that float's not a part of that. Oh, well, they repurposed this float and put these characters on it, and normally they don't have that. Like, that was the kind of nerdom that they go into. But no, this is a very classic parade. It's the music is iconic, and the reindeer are super adorable. They've flexed the show. The toy humongous toy factory float is really cute, and it's just a really cute experience overall. I love it.
Yeah. I remember one year I haven't seen it since, but they had one year where they had a Christmas tree float, a big Christmas tree float, and all of this it was before Snope. It was just literally blowing plastic chunks out of the top of this thing like a big chimney. So it was like blowing snow out of the top of this Christmas tree that they had to vacuum up after every show. I loved that. It was just just huge chimney of snow Christmas tree.
So the Christmas parade now, do they do that for regular days, or is that only for the Very Merry Christmas Party now?
Oh, at Disneyland they do it every day.
Yeah, I know at Disneyland they do, but in Florida, like remember a time before the special events, before like when Halloween and Christmas were just included in a ticket?
I do remember that time.
Yeah.
Patrick's dead again.
Oh wait, oh no, he's back.
No,
Nobody
I'm
knew.
here. My wife just came in to talk to me, and it's a very important food order. Yeah, it's so interesting. They started to, and I'm not honestly, I haven't kept up to date with what they're calling the annual tradition in Disneyland. I at least it's so hard to keep track of what holiday festival it is, but we do know that with Disney World they have the Very Merry Christmas Party. We get free hot cocoa, or I say free loosely, hot cocoa, and I really don't like that they made all these upcharge events. It feels wrong to me as somebody that worked in a park that for 2 months where it was just holidays the entire time. Like I just feel it's weird. I don't know, and we're not here to make crazy statements, but
yeah, I mean. Oh, I think it's a food order again.
I think it is.
The whole thing with the event was, I mean, they're trying to limit capacity, right? Because that was the thing is the parks kept building up, and eventually it was so crowded at Christmas or around Christmas time that things like this and the Halloween event, the same thing with that. They created an exclusive thing with supposedly less attendance, but it is the Halloween Horror Nights model where there's a completely separate ticket to get into this thing, and it's not a small fee either to get in.
Well, but also, the parks division needs to show growth every year. And all of a sudden when they realize, oh, we can charge 2 admissions on the same day now? Like that's...
Yep.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. I can't wait for the Very Merry President's Day party. coming up soon.
Oh my god!
Well, we are gonna have a roundtable show about the Hall of Presidents. So
that's coming.
That's coming next year. I think that's our inauguration special.
It is.
That's brilliant.
Not even a joke. Oh, Holiday Holiday! Wow, this was really the catalyst that Disney said, "Oh wow, we can actually make money between Thanksgiving and Christmas, right?"
Or between Halloween and Christmas.
Halloween and Christmas. Sorry, what did I say?
Thanksgiving, but it's okay.
Fair enough. So, anybody have any fond memories of?
Everyone just softly looked at the photos.
Yeah,
just enjoying the photography.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, remembering. Remember that? Yeah. I remember it opened without the Christmas Carol music.
It did.
The first year, the Christmas carols were added. I think the second year. I don't know the story behind it, but I'm guessing they probably ran out of time or money.
I love the Scarols. I remember that year they kind of pushed those, and it was like, la, la, I don't know. I have it all in my head. The music. For
la, 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 la.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think this is probably the most effective. I mean, it's fantastic the way they do it. They transform it. I actually really appreciate this. I think it's a fun IP to work with. It's like very reverent, and it totally works with the Disneyland culture that they kind of created and fostered. I don't know. Now they have that gang, Disneyland gangs. I don't know. I've been in the LA scene for 7 years, but we didn't have gangs back in my day when Michael and I were going to the parks together by ourselves.
They're social clubs, Patrick. Social clubs.
Thank you. Pardon me. But no, I loved it, and I actually I wasn't I'm not a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan, but I enjoyed the overlay, and I have these moments like the Happy Holidays everyone, whatever that little thing in the room. It's pretty iconic and very. I think it feels like they did not spare an expense, right? Like they really went all out and changed the law. And as a theme park designer, you really can go look and say, oh, what did they move around? What are they reusing? I actually think it's pretty fun just to go on that for that purpose alone.
Definitely.
I'll never forget the first time I went on it, and we went into the stretching room, and then there's all of the stained glass windows over the paintings, and I remember going oh man, how are they going to do that? And then when the room starts moving, and you hear the crashing of the glass, the shattering of the glass, I loved that so much. It was so great, and then the iconic VO and everything. That, and I love the in the hallway sequence, the big wreath plant monster with all of the little
Clack, clack, clack,
like
clack,
sort of
clack,
like
clack, clack.
clacking like little mini Audrey 2s.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's one of my favorite animatronics of all time. If we were gonna talk about that, and it is not terribly complicated, but it's just so effective. I love it.
It is. What I really love is let's see, the Jack animatronic, where like the groundskeeper is like right before the graveyard. Oh my god, like just so articulate. It's amazing. And the jack-o'-lanterns, where the singing busts usually are. Just like that projection effect is so effective.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I am not like the biggest fan of this overlay. I mean, it is very well done and it's very popular and it's done them a lot of good. Disneyland's done them a lot of good. I like my Haunted Mansion calm and quiet and dark. And the graveyard just gets so bright and you can see the ceiling and I'm just like, eh. But I do it once and then I'm good for the season. Yeah, all right.
Sorry, hold on. Before we move on, I muted myself. I actually agree with you. I feel like it's a very long overlay because they started in
September, right?
September now.
I think so, or at least that's when it goes down.
Yeah, so it's like by the time back when I was an annual pass holder or I was a cast member and working, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to have the Haunted Mansion back. So I totally can sympathize with that, Natalie. I totally hear you. What's up next on our Jingle Cruise?
Jingle Cruise.
Oh, look, they have hats now.
So I will say, what is that image of I don't think that's a real image on the right hand side.
Which one with all the yarn?
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
What?
that's real.
Yeah.
There's
Is that from
stockings.
Disney World?
It looks like there's blood everywhere.
No, it's not blood. It's
yarn.
It's yarn
Like
and it's like
falling apart.
scarves.
So I want to just say that one thing that Haunted Mansion Holiday has done is adding more throughout the years, right? So they changed things. They changed the centerpiece. They added is it Oogie Boogie?
Yeah. Sally.
Yeah, the Sally animatronic was added recently.
And I appreciate that. Jingle Cruise started off with I have to be careful for what I know and what I can say. It started off very we'll just throw some hats on things, and it really evolved. And I think people like it, and I think it's cute. It's a show script thing, and they've added to it over the years, and it's a goof,
Yeah.
Isn't there is some narrative backstory that explains it, right? That some cargo of Christmas stuff burst open in a helicopter above the Jungle Cruise or so. There's some
That sounds about right.
narrative story, right?
That could work.
Does anybody know?
I could text a few people to get an answer to that, but I don't know.
I always thought it was like the skippers decorated the jungle for Christmas, out of boredom.
That's possible too.
Yeah.
And
yeah, let's just say yes.
Yes.
I will say I think it's one of these things where the name came first and then they figured out the rest. Hey, Jingle Cruise, we can change one letter and just call it that, and it works. It's a fun show.
Yeah, the name got that attraction greenlit for sure.
Yeah.
The aforementioned Wyatt, who's also on the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. This was his project from both coasts. So shout out to Wyatt again. This lives on. It is, and I think they did it this year too. It wasn't shelved. I think it's at Walt Disney World. It's still happening. So kudos to them. And I'll give you a secret. There were all right. This is some insider knowledge. One year they had a flask in the pre-show, little queue area, and it was addressed to Pat, meaning me. So I appreciate that gift that I got and my little Easter egg 1 year at the Jingle Cruise.
Rachel did some research. It says the first year of Jingle Cruise was very simple in that most of the holiday decoration was for the boathouse queue and the boats themselves, with the story of skippers being homesick during the holidays. The ride itself mostly just had a new script of holiday jokes. In the following years, the Jingle Cruise became more elaborate, with a story about finding decorations and gifts that were spread out across the jungle after a cargo plane accidentally dropped them.
There you go. Confirmed.
Thank you, Rachel.
Confirmed.
Thank you, Rachel. Clutch, Rachel.
So what's up next? Coming up next on Six Sad World, it's a Small World holiday. Wow,
Holiday.
I haven't been on this in a long time.
this is another one of those things where like I think the music is an improvement.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, and just like I mean, just starting from the exterior, like the light display is like fantastic. I feel like it's, I don't know, maybe I'm not sure what kind of lights they use in the rest of the park, but these still have that kind of incandescent glow to them that I don't know, I love, especially when they're colored like this. It's like one of my favorite little spots during the holidays.
Well, yeah, I don't think they've moved to LEDs on the facade yet, or at least at Disneyland. I don't think they have.
I don't think they have. Yeah, and you can tell. Like, there's just it's like fire. It's like you just know.
I just assumed that they were repurposed from the electrical parade.
I don't.
That was around the same time.
I don't know, man. That I mean,
was my headcanon for that. That's my headcanon for Small World Holiday.
Rachel, get on that.
I'll take it.
Let's fact check that one.
Yeah. Please don't worry about it, Rachel. Oh no.
Oh man, she's doing it.
Well, and like, didn't they do? I don't know if this was like a recent thing or if this was like a long-term thing, but there was like a projection show on the facade of Small World that was the lights turning on. And I remember I watched that one year, and like, you know, you're just dealing with projection on a surface, and that moment when they all just come on, and I'm just like, oh my god, it was that was one of my favorite Disneyland Christmas memories. That's just such an impactful moment.
Well, and that facade that was one of the first uses of projection mapping at the Disney parks. That was kind of the test case for all of this. So and not only at Disney, I mean, that's really what showed a lot of other people that this is a viable thing. So
got it. It's
kind of a launching point for something that is ubiquitous in theme parks now.
And I wanted to say this. I think it was correct me if I'm wrong. Was it for the 50th anniversary because they wanted people to get out of the center of the hub? Like, I think that it may have been tied to something like that.
I think this predates the 50th, right?
I don't think it does.
50th was in 2005.
Or was it like? I'll just go talk to Darren from Mousetrap and see when it was. No, was it? Or was it because they were trying to spread out the snow? Because they did the snow, or Snope as we call it, on Main Street and also back here. Maybe it was because they were trying to spread out the love over here. I don't remember. Rachel, check when they did. Check. Or CJ when they did the first. Actually, Jason, that came to mind too. Like, I remember seeing it and I was kind of like, "Oh, this is kind of weird and new, and I don't know how I feel about it." That was legitimately my first feeling about it. And then now we know projection. It's all over the place. It's where you want to be. It's so hot right now.
Mm-hmm. It's so hot.
That was that sort of Nutcracker show that they did, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was before. I think it was like 2002 or 3.
Rachel, if you can find a video, just pull it up. I'm going to really put you. Only 50th
anniversary.
I'm going to do a cursory search.
So I will say it was either to divert attention away from the soap or the snow on Main Street, which was like, that was early, I believe, or just whatever it's called. I believe in Holiday Magic.
I think they launched the 50th show, which was very hub centric. Like there was a lot of activity going on in the hub, and so they wanted to create like an auxiliary viewing site where you could see many of the same. Just spread that crowd out a little bit more towards It's a Small World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and move to the next thing, Rachel. While you keep Googling.
It's a silly show.
You're supposed to delete that. Do they still do that show? I don't know.
I thought this was just questioning the format of the thing entirely. It's like,
we still call it a show?
Do we consider this a show?
No.
It's a spectacular, technically.
Well, I don't know. Did they change the shows out so much? And Rachel was like, I didn't do anything with these slides. Well, I believe in Holiday Magic was the first time that snow was huge, right? The snow. I mean, that's pretty huge. That changed the game. If you want to see some foam snow on Main Street, this is where you go. And the best place to see it was on Main Street because it looked magical because it was coming over on the sides. I have vivid memories of that. Was that like 90? When was that? Was it like 99, 98, or like 2002? I don't know. I do want to know that. I'm just going to keep throwing dates out there for CJ to Google.
1971, maybe? Who knows?
I say 2005.
2005 seems like a big watershed year for Disneyland.
Small World. So Small World holiday has been going since 1997.
Oh. Wow.
But not the projection show. The projection show was much later.
Yeah, 2000. We had 2000, launched in 2000. So I said 1999, so 2000. That was pretty close. I would have been a youngling. I would have been a freshman in high school.
Did you actually text Darren and ask him?
Oh no, this is just for the Believe in Holiday Magic.
Oh, okay.
Not the it's a Small World facade. I stand by that. I think it was a 50th anniversary thing.
I remember.
I think you're right for the projection part.
I remember I had lunch with Bruce Healy once, and he was telling me about the Believe in Holiday Magic music, and he said that they had done the finale for the show like 10 times. Oh, wow. And they finally landed on that, treasure the memory, the whole thing at the very last minute. He said it was recorded like just a week or two before the show premiered with that huge orchestra and everything. It's amazing how fast that can come together.
Yeah.
And this is a very popular show. I remember that when like the Caroling of the Bells comes on, it's time to take away all the ropes from control. No, it's very impactful, very fun, and there is a dreidel sequence. So, yay for Disney for being a little inclusive on that in the early 2000s. But yeah, iconic show. People love it. Snow came out. What do we have next on the list, Rachel?
What was the? Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Now this is it started it all.
The Country Bear Christmas Jamboree version thing.
I don't think somebody would edit those things out.
Haunted Mansion Christmas version. I just think
such a classic show. Like Country Bears is such a natural format to do overlays like this. Like I know a lot of people didn't, but I loved Country Bear Holiday, just like the second one they did. I love the Christmas version. I wish every season would have a Country Bear Christmas. Like we should have done like the Country Bear political debate this last.
You got those two stages on either side, right?
Well, they came close. I mean, they had the Christmas, the summer vacation slideshow one.
Yeah.
And then with the Christmas one,
that's the Vacation Hoedown.
Yeah, Vacation Hoedown.
Vacation Hoedown.
There's nothing like the great outdoors.
Yeah, right. And I love the joke in this one with Teddy Bear up on the swing, and her leg is in a cast because she broke it skiing, and then what's his name? The host of the show,
Henry.
Henry. She's like, why don't you come up and sign my cast? And he's like, as soon as I find a pen, I'll be there. I just remember that. It's just like there's all this sexual tension between Henry and Teddy Bear always.
Oh yeah, that's the classic trope of the Country Bears is the sort of like chauvinistic undertones.
They say "Baby, it's cold outside." Don't they say "Baby, it's cold outside"?
I mean, they have to, right? That feels like that fits right in with this show.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I've never seen it. I'm just like, yeah, and she probably sings it, right? She's like,
it's a duet. It's like a duet.
Yeah.
No,
I definitely.
I miss it.
I'm trying to think without looking it up.
So does this still happen in Florida?
I don't think so. No, I think
it happens in Japan. In Japanese. I've heard it in Japanese before.
Yeah.
That sounds like a unique experience.
Well, Christmas in Japan in general is like bonkers town. In ways it's like surpassing what we do in the States now.
Are you guys
like
waiting?
With what?
With everything.
Sorry, didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
The colors are brighter, or
no. I mean, well, first of all, I mean everything in Japan is like turned up to 11 in terms of events and the theme parks and everything like that. But Christmas has a different tone. Christmas is about love in Japan, and so there's a lot of like relationship undertones that a lot of the shows have and everything. But both Disney, Universal, Japan. All of the parks in that region kind of go all out around this time, and the shows are just phenomenal everywhere you go. And the decorations, Tokyo Disney Sea, and all the different lands within that park and how they transform at Christmas. It's just something that you have to see in person.
The song that Teddy Bear and Henry sing is the Christmas song, the chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Though it would have been funnier if it was Baby It's Cold Outside. What do we have next?
Where did the slides go?
Yeah, where?
Well, what I will just say is that for me, I appreciate that, Disney or Oriental Land Company still rotates it out, right? We have the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown, the Christmas Special, and the regular Country Bears, and always appreciate it. Let's go ahead and talk about Illuminations, the holiday tag for Illuminations.
RIP, correct?
Yeah. So this is Illuminations is a fan favorite, right? It's a kiss goodnight, and they celebrate holidays from around the world, or whatever it is they did. But they packed a lot of fireworks into the punch. I know this is more of an LA-based crew, but as an honorary Orlandian, I had a great time with it and really enjoyed all the fun that was to be had with these crazy fireworks that they did. Any of you catch the show?
I've never seen it. No,
I have not.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, Illuminations. I mean, they're working on the new version of this right now, but Illuminations was always like the monster truck rally of nighttime shows, and you take the show that's already like at the top, like what else can you add to this, and you throw the holiday tag on there. They actually had a barge that was part of this and part of the 4th of July stuff called the World War III barge, where it's just like more pyro. I mean, it's like taking a rocket and then like strapping other rockets onto a rocket, essentially, and that's.
I think that's Elon Musk's whole plan, honestly.
No, and it was, and the way that was actually pretty cute. The way that they did it, it was like the song was like "Peace on Earth," yada yada. Folks, we have confirmation that the projection show was added in 2005 for Disneyland's 50th anniversary.
Oh my God!
Hot off the presses. I don't like to be right, but I like when my nerddom and my complete craziness pays off. That I knew that, or I thought it was that. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was that. So believe in holiday or whatever. Illuminations holiday tag was a really. I mean, it is sad that like Illuminations isn't happening right now. I mean, we know why it's not happening, but like it is a staple, right? No matter what day of the year it is, Epcot opens at 9, Future World or World Showcase at 11, fireworks at 9. Like that's like you can count on that. You can set your watch to that. Right now, you cannot. And just like you were saying, Jason, theater in the round, fireworks in the round. You can see them. You just stop walking wherever you are in the park and see them, and they blow the biggest fireworks you've ever imagined. That's what you want, right? That's what you want. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. Okay. How do you top it? New Year's Eve at Epcot, folks. So this is Epcot.
Is that real? That looks like a bad day at Epcot.
Oh my gosh! So this has been a Orlandian tradition for me. Is going to Epcot, and I've presented I tried to like email myself some imagery. Epcot on New Year's Eve is absolutely insane, and I'm actually sad I'm not going to be able to do it. Yeah. Because what they do, and Rachel, go ahead and look for some firework footage. Skim to the end. Find where it's like the big finale, if you don't mind. And then if you can pull up like just any footage of like the dance stages from like the China Pavilion, that'd be great. I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'm sorry, I'm talking to Rachel. They set up like 5 of the pavilions turn into dance parties. So the Italy area turns into like an electronic dance party. China plays dance music, pop hits, electronica, mixed in with a fog or it's not CO2, whatever it is, fog blast from a dragon. And it's like the funnest thing you ever do. You feel completely safe. And they do a huge firework countdown where they celebrate where New Year's Eve has happened across the globe, and they launch it out. Honestly, it is worth you all coming out for New Year's Eve to see this. I think it's better. Well, I've been to Vegas for New Year's Eve, which I presume Andy has done many times. It's cool, but the dance party atmosphere at Epcot, and I will host all of you, is really fun. Rachel, do you have any footage that we can show of Epcot New Year's Eve? No, we do not. So other things that happen is just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. The park all the parks close to capacity on New Year's Eve. People camp out all day long. They have so many floating bars that you've ever imagined. Like they bring out more bars than you would ever imagine are at Epcot. The noise blasters, all that kind of stuff. It's just such a great time. And I really am going to miss it this year. Before we bring on some footage, how do you guys celebrate New Year's Eve? Do you at all?
I used to go to Disneyland before I went to Vegas. I went to Disneyland, where it was like shoulder to shoulder, like and no other day. And then they would do a big countdown, and then like a 15-minute fireworks show, and then they'd be open until like 4.
Yeah.
And everybody had they'd hand out party hats and noisemakers like horns, the like party horns, and everybody would be deaf by the end of the night because everybody's blowing horns in everybody's ears and all that kind of stuff. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, so before I was of age, I also went to Disneyland for a couple years before I worked at the park, and before I don't know how old I was, but I went to Disneyland for the. Okay, hold on to that just a second, Rachel, if you don't mind. But that is Epcot. hold on. And I don't know. I don't know if you were in front of the castle. We may have been in the castle at the same time, but at 11 o'clock, people would bring beach balls, and they would all throw beach balls around in front of, and they would stop 40. Now as an adult over 21, I kind of need a boost. But Disney was a really wholesome and fun place to go. Rachel, roll the clip of Epcot New Year's Eve China, please, if we can all see this. So Center, wow. China Pavilion. Is there a fog? The dragon's up there. Fog, Rachel, if you can find. Oh, there we go.
Oh wait, here it comes. I'm assuming.
I thought for sure it was gonna come out.
No, not yet. Yeah.
Oh, here it comes.
There we go.
Oh god,
that happened.
I'm so nervous.
It better come out.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Dude, what?
Well, okay. CO2 is very expensive, people.
Rachel,
that is still very impressive.
Pull up, like, if you can just find like an ED. Oh, okay. Now she has it. Okay, go, Rachel. Back, play it. Get it. No, back to the All right, here we go.
Oh wait.
All right, here we go.
Oh, you missed the cue the first time. I got it.
I think it's probably liquid nitrogen.
Whatever that is. Yeah. All right, Rachel, can you pull up a firework video of like the last finale fireworks, if you don't mind? I'm obsessed with Epcot Center. Sorry. Go ahead.
What was the question? What was the question again?
No question. We're just talking about Epcot.
We're talking about Epcot Center. I'm just telling you that you all need to come to Epcot Center for New Year's Eve. That's all I'm saying. And if you were there, that was the China Pavilion. They have a CO2. Maybe it's NO2, right? I think it's nitrogen, whatever it is. But it's a lot of fun. Rachel, no problems on the song, but usually it's not YMCA. It's more like pop music, and everyone's having a great time and dancing to it. I have footage on my phone, but I did not prepare for this at all.
More beat dropping opportunities, I'm assuming.
Yeah, like that's. Thank you. When the beat, it happens. Rachel, do you have a photo of like the fireworks for New Year's Eve, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
I feel like I missed out being a West Coaster and not having Epcot until like 2015. Like,
no. I've never been to a theme park on New Year's Eve. I feel like
me neither.
Is a bucket list thing that I need to do.
So
I usually just sit at home alone with a Hungry Man dinner and a RC cola.
New Year's is like such a
night.
chaotic experience. I can never tell what I'm going to be doing. Not like, crazy things, but just it's not like Christmas, which has like these solid traditions. New Year's is like, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that.
So is this the finale fireworks at Epcot? Maybe it is. All right, why not? Let's just do it.
With the sky looking like that, it looks like it is.
So this is.
Wow.
Oh my God. Oh.
So you can hear the song playing in the background. Pretty great. We can talk for this. I'm gonna get teary-eyed. I love. So what we do is we dance this kind of pavilion, and then we kiss and make up, and then we enjoy this fireworks show. The most fireworks they use any night of the year is right here at any Disney park. And the grand finale is coming shortly.
What song are they playing?
Lang Syne.
Yeah. So basically, they're gonna blast the sky. Okay, yeah. Okay. Here we go. This is the moment where they just blast. They burn up the entire Epcot Center.
Oh my God!
Wow. That's like that video where, like in San Diego, where they set up all the fireworks for once.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Rachel. Really? Okay, so actually I lied. The only other day they launched more fireworks is on 4th of July at Epcot. But it's a great show. What do we have next up on the holiday? No, I'm sincerely kind of like getting sad that I'm not. I had so many great memories at Epcot Center for New Year's Eve, and I apologize. What do we have next on the holiday traditions, Rachel, on the list?
Maybe nothing.
No.
Oh, Osborne, yeah. And does this happen anymore? This is another RIP.
No, it's all at Give Kids the World now.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about that last week. Who experienced this show? Anybody actually experienced this on the?
Oh, I used to go every year to this. I love this thing. It actually it took me years to figure out that it wasn't like Ozzy Osbourne's family spectacle of dancing lights.
It's not.
Exactly.
Which Osbourne family is it? No, no, you didn't ruin anything.
The other Osbourne family.
Oh, the other one. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So how this started off is like I think a family in Arkansas had a huge light display, and then they were shut down by the local community because too many people were showing up. So they went to Disney and they brought them over to the I don't know what it was called. It was like the streets, like the residential street on their backlot tour. The backlot tour went away, of course, as we all know, for Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge. What was for Lightstorm Action. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then they brought it to the streets of America, and it was this huge thing that people could walk by. I went to it several times as a guest here in Orlando. They would synchronize all these musical soundtracks, and it was a goof. It was fun to go to Disney Hollywood Studios for that. And then, of course, for Galaxy's Edge, it glowed away forever. But you were saying, Jason, you had some memories of this.
Oh, yeah. I love going to this thing. I mean, so, Andy, you were talking about the before Snope, there was the other form of like fake snow, which was they took a block of essentially wax. I think it was a block of hard soap, and it would just shave this off in little flakes and throw it into the air.
Oh.
And that's what used to happen here. They used to do the soap shavings or the shaved snow, whatever. But yeah, it was so, I mean, it was campy and fun, and everything was covered in lights. And this is before LEDs, where everything was like hyper color. So it was good old family fun. And it felt, the other thing, it wasn't so directly tied to Disney too. It was just an overlay of the park, and there were Disney references here and there, but largely it was what it was, and it didn't feel like it had to be like branded Frozen or something.
Right.
What do you guys think of what Six Flags is doing? It's kind of like this, but as a drive-through, right?
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up at the end when we ran out of slides.
Hold your thought, and we'll have to figure that out. But no, this was like, so as an Orlandian, I would go and we would just hang out, have some hot cocoa, spiked hot cocoa. Disney Studios didn't really have much going on in it, and so it was fun to go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, of course, a new, I'm not sure who did this, but favorite neighborhood holiday displays for what we're going to miss, or maybe we're not going to miss. We're just going to enjoy it.
This is for people who aspire to be the Osborne family.
Yeah, exactly.
Before your Karen of a neighbor shuts you down.
That's funny. We totally have who we call in our neighborhood. I don't know her name, but we just call her Keystone Karen. There's always one on every street, isn't there? Or at least one or two in every neighborhood. It seems like. I remember growing up in Orange County. I don't know if Patrick, you ever did this. It was like down in like Garden Grove or one of those South Orange County cities called Candy Cane Lane.
Oh no, I don't remember that.
Where there was like everybody knew like this to drive down to this neighborhood. Maybe it was like Torrance or something like that. But it was
I actually did that when I was really young.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes,
and they were like like house after house after house. I remember being fascinated. Some of them had like these 2D flats that were lit up, and then even like there would be like a 2D flat Santa, but like his arm would be animated, and I was like, oh my god, animatronics at your house.
My family would do like a pretty big thing every year. Like growing up, decorating for every holiday was a huge thing and had a huge influence on me, just theme parks and everything else. And we actually made like giant Disney wooden flats that my mom would get like an overhead projector and make overheads and trace it out, and we would paint it, and it was so much fun. It's like, this is like, because it's such a consistent thing, and it's essentially free. Like anybody could just drive around and look at lights, it's really lovely. And I'm the one that put this slide in.
Bridging the slide before this and what we're just mentioning with like Six Flags and the drive-through thing, like family farms have been doing the drive-through attraction for years, for decades, right? Like you go to like the different family farm attractions in more rural areas, and they have the Christmas lights that are all spread out into tunnels and stuff that you drive through.
Yeah.
We keep talking about like, oh man, COVID invented a whole new form of attraction, but the farmers have been doing this for years.
Yeah, seriously.
Rides and stuff and corn mazes.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Danny.
No, I was just I was going to mention the new Christmas lights at Hogsmeade. That I really loved.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yep.
To see that added, and to be there when it lit up and everything like that. And then the Christmas show at the Hogsmeade Christmas show was wonderful.
Yeah. Didn't they did Snow or Snope for that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, talk about just like perfect with all like the snowy roofs and everything. I mean, God.
Yeah, just the Christmas lights and everything, which is just so beautiful. All the white lights. That's the kind of Christmas lights I like too, is the white lights. Everything white lights.
So it's interesting because Universal, just in general, this has been a very Disney heavy show. We can all acknowledge that, but of course, Universal has several things that they do throughout Christmas time, right? They have Grinchmas.
Oh yeah. How have we not mentioned Grinch?
Yeah,
that
one
felt like that should have been a slide.
I apologize. I grew up with Disney in California and then predominantly here. So I haven't really experienced, I haven't seen the Christmas show or I've seen like the holiday. Like, I apologize for that. We're not doing it a good service, but I'm sure I have seen the Macy's Day show, the Macy's parade that they do.
Yeah.
At Universal Orlando. I don't think they do it at the in California, so I apologize. But they have all these little blimps that they walk down Main Street, and guests are able to participate in that, and they're able to hold. I think maybe I'm speaking out of turn here. At least that's what they do in the major one. And this year they have they're calling it something else, like light holiday, whatever it is, holiday experience of holidays. And what they're actually doing is they're trying to make sure that they're being COVID safe as much as possible. And so instead of having parades, which we know right now is not good because you do not want to have people crowding around one another as you're doing it. So they've had to do things a bit of it differently, right? They've taken on all the COVID cautiousness. And now they are putting these blimps or these balloons in sound stages, which is very interesting. So I just saw a tweet today or an article, and go ahead and pull whatever you have up, Rachel. It's fine. And they put a bunch of these blimps in sound stages, so you can go walk into the experience, and you're able to experience it a little bit. And I don't know where. Sorry, Rachel. I have no idea where I saw the footage today of where people are walking around, but that's nice at least, right? It's something. And there was like the Christmas store they have. With a nutcracker in the front of it. And I thought it was a joke at first. I honestly thought it was like a Photoshop thing. And then I was like, oh, no, they actually have a Christmas shop, which is kind of fun. So Universal's also in the game, too. But I think we all know that Disney honestly, Disney dominates. Halloween is Universal. Disney dominates Christmas. And maybe a little change over the years, right? We'll see what happens.
What was that on the screen? Was that some IP that I'm not familiar with?
I think that's the Shrek donkey.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Oh, it's the Shrek donkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to say real quick about Universal and Christmas. Like, they have a whole Dr. Seuss land, and they have the Grinch. And I'm like, I love how the Grinch Stole Christmas, like the cartoon and like any of it. Like, they have, I remember for Christmas, they at least put up like the Merry Mary, like little banner on the arch, which is the same banner they put in Whoville in the cartoon. And when I saw that, I went nuts. I was like, that is amazing. And now what I want is all Whoville for Christmas. That's what I want, like in another area. But this is not for that. So
no problem. Let me know. So our holiday traditions have transformed a bit. And Six Flags is doing a drive-through experience. Rachel, are you able to pull up that link and we can play a little footage from that?
It's only like a minute and a half. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, let's take a look. Rachel, sorry. Okay, she's not cute at all. Sorry. We just kind of like think that she can hear or think what we're thinking, but she can't, so we apologize for that.
Well, she's pulling it up. I'd love to mention the Rose Parade as well. That's a big tradition, a big New Year's Day tradition. In my family, we would either go to it or we'd wake up and watch it.
And that's only been canceled like once, right, in the history of the entire time.
For World War II, like 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. All right, we're gonna go ahead and throw to the video here. Sorry, I thought I was ready. Six Flags has announced recently they're doing a drive-through experience at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Here we go. No, drive-through experience. Okay.
So weird.
Wow.
Wow.
Man.
What? terrifying.
What the hell is that?
Wasn't there like a steampunk area or something?
Yeah, the scream punk area.
Oh,
right.
Excuse me. Scream punk.
It's like a typical Six Flags. They literally just throw the lights up on the tree.
Oh my gosh. I'm like so in on this.
Yeah, this is great. Oh, see, there's the snow. See, there's the snow.
Good for them for doing this.
Yeah, seriously.
I
Take
will-
advantage
I
of
will-
it.
Absolutely 100% do that.
Yeah, and like I'll have to fly out to California and get COVID just so I can go on that. No, but seriously, like I saw the tour, like the roadmap, and you're going up like towards the I don't know what they call the areas. I forget, and I forget the area, but like all the way to the Rapids area and Tatsu and going all the way around like that. Like that's kind of fun.
Samurai Summit, I believe you're referring to.
Samurai
Samurai
Summit. That's right.
I know they shuttered the Orient Express a long time ago, so I was trying to avoid that name. True story, they did. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, that's. I'm like, I'm kind of into it. Like, I would go and drive through Disneyland right now.
Yeah,
people would pay
anything.
$100 to do that minimum. I don't know what people what they're thinking.
A lot of zoos are doing this too. Like that's zoos were the first ones that kind of picked up on like being a permanent attraction that allowed cars to come through, and I think San Antonio actually was one of the first ones that started to pull this off. But yeah, it's interesting to see the theme parks doing this. Like I wish it was affordable for them to actually just like run rides and have the lights and stuff going in circles, just so it's kinetic and everything. But
I was just reading about the Rose Parade really quick this year. They're actually going to air a special of like basically the greatest hits of Rose Parade's past with live musical and marching band performances, heartwarming segments related to the Rose Parade, and celebrity guest appearances, probably by like Andy Dick and whoever else they can get.
Andy Dick coming out of hiding. Oh my gosh. Well,
yeah, the drive-through thing is pretty cool. I would do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, folks, thank you for. I think this is a great show, and I'm my heart is warm, and all I want to do is go and buy a ticket to go to LA to go and drive through Six Flags Magic Mountain. I actually do. I know it's weird, but I kind of want to drive. Like, who gets to drive through a theme park?
Right.
Not
the novelty of that. Like Efteling started it. They own Efteling. Like you could drive through Efteling for like a month or two.
I've driven backstage of a theme park, but not on stage. Like that's a baller move. So I'm pretty happy about it. Natalie, Michael, and Jason, don't leave this system. We're gonna go in the green room after this. But we have some great shows coming up over the next couple of weeks. For next week, we're going to be talking about, speaking of innovation, Jolly Creek. We're going to get a behind-the-scenes tour of Jolly Creek. He has Chris was sending me some messages today on Twitter. An elaborate sound stage. It's a huge party. It's a social distancing event they're doing in Orlando, Florida. And then a week after that, we're going to be talking about holidays and inclusivity, and it's going to be a very interesting show. Looking forward to that. Big announcements in the future. And I appreciate all of our guests for coming on. This has been a big family reunion. I know IAPA is fun and all that kind of good stuff. So Natalie and Jason and Michael, we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Happy to do it.
Pleasure to be here.
So let's go ahead and do a big cheers to love, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I got my Fresca bottle, and everyone has a lot of things. Cheers to all of you watching in TV land. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we will catch you on the flip side. Take care, everybody.